Hey, I'm Matt from School of Rock, and this video is reading guitar tabs for beginners. Guitar tablature, usually referred to as tab, is a method of notating music that empowers beginner guitarists to learn songs quickly and easily. Guitar tabs share similarities with music staff notation by showing you what notes to play, how long to play them, and what techniques to use. But when compared to standard music notation, guitar tablature offers a serious advantage. It shows you where to play the notes on your guitar. At School of Rock, we teach students how to read guitar tablature since it can show you both chords and single notes, making it the fastest way to learn your favorite songs. It can also be an easier way to learn, since knowing how to read guitar tabs does not require any special knowledge other than locating the strings and the frets on your guitar. Guitar tabs are the visual representation of the notes in a song. Standard guitar tablature consists of 6 horizontal lines, with each line representing the 6 strings on the guitar. When looking at guitar tab from top to bottom, the top line represents the high E string, followed by lines that represent the B, G, D, A, and low E strings. This also reflects the view of the strings as you look down while holding your guitar. For this reason, think of guitar tablature as your roadmap since it will provide you with the fastest route to learning songs. The frets are numbered 0 to 24 and start at the nut, the closest piece to the headstock, and run the entire length of the guitar neck. For example, if the string has a 0, that means you play the string open, or without using your fretting hand. If the string has a 1, that means you play using the first fret. When learning how to read guitar tabs, it's important to understand that 1 represents the first fret, 2 the second fret, 3 the third fret, and so on. How to read guitar tabs is simple. From left to right, and all the notes indicated are in chronological order. When the numbers are in line with each other vertically, they represent a chord. A chord is played by strumming all of the indicated strings at the same time. For beginners to read guitar tabs successfully, they must familiarize themselves with the 6 strings and the locations of various frets. This will allow them to locate the proper notes to play while using the guitar tab as a guide. The guitar tab staff looks similar to the staff used in standard notation. One major difference is that the staff lines in the guitar tab represent the 6 strings, not the actual notes. The top line represents the high E string, and the bottom line represents the low E string. This makes playing guitar tab easy for beginners, and the staff will also be labeled as tab, so it's not confused with standard notation. Guitar frets are the metal strips that run along the fretboard. Most guitars will have 19 to 24 frets. Each fret is one note or one half step from the other, which can also be referred to as a semitone. There are 12 notes or frets in each octave, and most guitars have fret markers on the sides or the front of the fretboard. These markers are typically at the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 12th frets, and can help you easily recognize the fret positions when playing. Remember, when looking at guitar strings, fretted strings are indicated by numbers, and open strings are indicated by the number 0. This shows you to play the string open without using your fretting hand. You simply pick or pluck the string and let it sound. While chords do not have any special symbols in guitar tab, they can be identified easily by their position. When several notes are shown to line up vertically, they're played together, making a chord. If a chord is arpeggiated, it will appear as single notes, even though you're fretting a chord. Many rock songs consist of riffs. Riffs are usually a combination of single notes and partial chords, such as power chords. For riffs, the general rule of guitar tabs apply. When 2 or more notes line up vertically, play them at the same time. Guitar tab differs from a standard chord chart in a few ways. A chord chart is a diagram showing where to fret each string to make a chord, and it also tells you which finger to use. A chord chart can be included in Guitar tab and is usually positioned over the lyrics of the song to indicate when the chords are changed. Chord charts only show the 3 to 4 unique notes that make up that specific chord. But an accurate version of the song may require single notes, notes not in the root chord, or arpeggios that are not indicated. Tablature is linear, but chord charts are like a snapshot of your fretboard. Chord charts use a numbering system that tells you which fingers to use when playing. The fingers of the fretting hand, the hand that pushes the strings down on the fretboard, are numbered. For example, the index finger is 1, the middle finger is 2, the ring finger is 3, and the pinky is 4. This differs from tab, as the numbers used in Guitar tab will indicate which fret to play, and not which finger to use. For this reason, chord charts can be included in Guitar tabs to show beginners how to position their hands when playing. Muting is an important technique in rock music. Many styles of music, including heavy metal, punk, and alternative, rely on different muting techniques to give a certain sound or character. While done predominantly with your picking hand, muting can be done with either hand or with both. Muting notes adds dynamic to your playing and is super helpful for making you sound more polished. In many songs, the verses may be muted while the chorus or hook is not. When playing, most guitarists employ muting techniques all the time without even thinking about it. When playing at stage volume, muting keeps you from having unwanted noise or even feedback as you play. Palm muting is one of the most used techniques in rock guitar. To do it, you need to have the palm of your picking hand in contact with the strings as you pick them. Heavy palm muting produces a tight rhythmic sound, while light palm muting lets the notes ring out a little more. Beginners reading guitar music should look for the letters PM above the section that needs to be palm muted. Muting notes is a different technique than palm muting, and it's done by using your fretting hand. In Guitar tab, the notes are still picked, but they aren't clearly sounded as the fretting hand does not press the note all the way down on the fretboard. In guitar tablature, this is indicated as an X, where the fret number would normally appear. Let me show you some examples of palm muting and muting notes. Bending strings gives your guitar playing an expressive, vocal quality. To locate bending in Guitar tab, beginners should look for a curved arrow over the note they want to play. This will make the pitch of the string go higher. The arrow may indicate a half or full step. This is telling you to make the string a half step or full step higher in pitch. These notes are often referred to as target notes. Bending is accomplished by pushing the strings up or down rather than just pressing straight down on the fretboard. For all the strings but the low E, most players push the strings up toward the ceiling. The low E string must be pushed down toward the floor. The trick is to maintain even, constant pressure on the string as you bend it. Most bends are done using 2 or 3 fingers. The main fretting finger, usually the ring finger, and the middle and index fingers for adding support and strength. This will make bending smoother, easier, and add lots of control to the pitch of the note. When reading Guitar tab, beginners might also encounter what's called a pre-bend. In a pre-bend, strings can be pre-bent and then picked and released to return to the original pitch of the fretted note. This will be indicated by an arrow going straight up with the range of the bend, shown followed by a curved arrow going down. Pre-bent notes may return down to the original note or bent even higher to another target note. Here's an example of a half step, a full step, and a pre-bend. Let me show you some examples. This is a half bend. This is a full bend. And this is a pre-bend. Sliding guitar notes is another useful technique. This is different than bending. When sliding, you will actually slide your fretting finger up or down to the desired fret. When sliding up, it will be indicated by a line between the note you are sliding from to the note you are sliding to. If the note you are sliding to is higher, the line will go slightly up. Conversely, when sliding down, it will be indicated by a line between the note you are sliding from to the note you are sliding to. If the note you are sliding to is lower, the line will go slightly down. Here are some examples of sliding notes. Sliding down, sliding down, and sliding up. The hammer-on is a cool technique when you don't pick the note, but you hammer on the note with your fretting finger. You can hammer on from an open note or a fretted note, and the resulting note will be higher. The hammer-on will be indicated on the guitar tab by the letter H and an arc that connects either the open note to the hammer-on note or the fretted note to the hammer-on note. To play a hammer-on, strike the string with the fretting finger with enough force to sound the note. This will take a little practice to produce a clear, strong note. It's also easier to play on the electric guitar with a decent amount of volume. Start with your open low E string and hammer onto the 3rd fret and hold the note to let it ring. Repeat this on different strings and frets. Let me show you an example. Pull-offs are the exact opposite of the hammer-on. Instead of pushing down on the string, you pull off the string to an open note or a note you are fretting with another finger. These are indicated in the guitar tab with the letter P and an arc connecting the pulled off note to the open note or the pulled off note to the fretted note. The resulting note will be lower. To execute the pull-off, you will press the note down and then pull off the note to play either an open or fretted note that is lower. When playing pull-offs on the guitar, you are grabbing enough of the string with your fingertip to make the note sound. Let me show you an example. I'm pulling off with my fingertip to make sure you can hear the second sound. You can then combine the two techniques to play a combination of both hammer-ons and pull-offs by repeating the two motions in an alternating fashion. This is sometimes referred to as a trill. Let me show you an example of a trill. Vibrato is the technique of repeatedly bending a note and returning to the original pitch without releasing the note. This produces an expressive note and tone, and vibrato is indicated in the tab as a zigzag line above the staff. When reading guitar tablature, beginners should look at the length of the line for the vibrato. In general, the longer the line, the longer you should apply the vibrato. Playing vibrato on guitar takes a bit of practice. Vibrato is similar to bending, but it is not changing the pitch as much. You can add vibrato using a single finger or by using a main finger with other fingers as support. Start with a smooth, slow vibrato and vary the speed for different effects. Like bending, vibrato adds a vocal quality to soloing, and no two guitarists' vibratos are exactly the same. They are as individual as a fingerprint. Let me show you an example. Guitar tapping is a popular technique that involves fretting notes with your regular fretting hand while also tapping or fretting notes with the index finger of your picking hand. The tapping of your picking hand is a variation of a hammer-on. Tapping is notated in the guitar tab by a letter T over the indicated note. Tapping was popularized by Eddie Van Halen, but the technique has been used in classical guitar for decades. To finger tap on the guitar, fret a note with your regular fretting hand, and tap a higher note on the same string with your index finger as your picking hand. Finger tapping is very similar to the hammer-on technique, but instead of using your fretting hand, you're using your picking hand. This allows you to play the notes with wide intervals that you cannot reach with just your fretting hand. Playing with a decent amount of gain and volume will also make this technique easier and sound better. It also allows you to play very quickly since you are fretting notes with both hands. You can also try two-hand tapping. This is just as the name implies, a technique where both hands will play notes independently without actually picking the notes. This is sometimes done with the fretting hand tapping the bass notes and the picking hand tapping the melody or solo notes. Here's an example of tapping. When strumming chords on your guitar, there are two types of strum patterns used: upstrokes and downstrokes. Downstrokes start on the lower strings of the guitar and end with the higher strings, while using a downward motion. In guitar tab, downstrokes are indicated by a symbol that has a thick horizontal line with two legs pointing down on both sides. Upstrokes are the opposite. They start on the high strings and end on the low strings using an upward motion. In guitar tab, upstrokes are usually notated by a V-shaped symbol. When playing chords on a guitar, various strumming patterns are used depending on the rhythm of the song. You can strum in a constant downstroke and upstroke pattern, or in any combination. Songs with an eighth note rhythm are counted as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. Many songs use alternating upstrokes and downstrokes on an eighth note rhythm, with the downstrokes on the 1, 2, 3, 4 and the upstrokes on the ands. For example, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When playing single notes in guitar tab, the same notation of upstrokes and downstrokes apply. Your pick will go downward as you pick the note, and is indicated by the thick horizontal bar with legs pointing down on both sides. Conversely, upstrokes are played with an upward motion of the pick and are notated with a V above the note to be played. Now that you know how to read guitar tabs and what guitar techniques you can play, you're ready to start playing. From beginner to advanced, School of Rock has taught thousands of students how to play guitar and achieve their full potential. At School of Rock, our instructors walk with you step by step to teach you how to play guitar with skill and confidence. We make learning an instrument fun so you can get up on stage and rock in a band. Our patented music programs are taught by practicing musicians just like me, with the experience you need to learn to play. With School of Rock, you can perform live shows and develop your skills in a supportive learning environment for all skill levels. If you liked what you learned here, head to schoolofrock.com to find classes featuring our patented School of Rock method. Or head to the description below to sign up for classes today.